Hear that? Is that America cheering or a sausage patty sizzling to perfection? It's time to cheer for Egg McMuffin and fresh cracked eggs at McDonald's. It's time to wake up to the aroma of freshly baked biscuits and treat yourself to a real honest-to-goodness morning meal. Breakfast, it's on at McDonald's. Now get any breakfast sandwich for just $2. Available only through the app. Mobile order and pay available at participating McDonald's. McD app download and registration required.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
Thank you for calling 423-GET-FAME. That's 423-GET-FAME. I would tell you to leave a message, but the truth is, I don't really care. I've had this hotline open for months, and not one of you jokers have what it takes to be famous like me. So leave a message if you want, but don't expect a call back. I've got way more important things to do than to waste my time on losers like Masquerita Sagrada and you all. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Hey there, folks, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 12 of the Grave Consequences podcast. Of course, a podcast covering Lucha Underground. As alluded to, we're reviewing Season 2, Episode 12. This is called Three's a Crowd, but you wouldn't know it by my autocorrect on my iTelephone because it corrected that to There's a Crowd. Which is a better title, Greg?
That's a good question because I actually been meaning to talk to you. I'm going to change one of the titles for one of the shows, but There's a Crowd. I like it better.
Oh my gosh. That's if you want to use that, you go ahead, but you make sure you credit Tim Apple.
Timothy Applesmith.
Yes, Timothy Applesmith, a.k.a. Tim Cook. Guys, follow me on Twitter at IamCalebB. Follow Greg at XMaserati. We'll put the spelling in the description. Social Suplex Podcast Network. That's where you can get not only our show, but every other show here on the network. Of course, Grave Consequences Podcast, solo feed. You can listen to me every Wednesday night as well on Eddie and Caleb's Hero Cast. That is hero movie-based reviews. And I think that's it for the plugs. With that, let's go into the episode. And the very first thing we see is Dario Cueto's office. And inside that office is the trio of Johnny Mundo, Taya, and Cage. So very much strange bedfellows. Cage asks for a match with Johnny, and Dario just says no. Dario tried to shake Taya's hand, and Taya did not accept. And at one point, okay, so the crux of this segment is Dario announcing that, hey, you guys are going to be in the trios tournament together. And Cage is like, hey, I don't care if it's them. I don't care if I don't have a partner. I'm going to become trios champion because I'm not a man. And Dario cuts him off and says, yeah, you're a machine. We know.
This isn't the first episode to make a joke about his catchphrase. Mm-hmm. And it's great every time.
Yeah.
But you can tell how dated this show is because Dario points to his plaque and says, this says I'm kind of a big deal, which is an Anchorman quote.
Okay, look, that was dated when this was dated when the episode came out in 2016 because that movie came out in 2004.
Oh, really? Man, I'm getting old.
Dude, it happens to all of us, man. It happens to all of us, unfortunately. But yes, the I'm kind of a big deal plaque does not age the show well at all.
No. It's still funny, but...
Yeah. In fact, hell, I might watch Anchorman tonight. I don't know.
Did you ever see the second one?
I was not impressed.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
It was fine, but most of those comedy sequels, they don't land, man.
No, you can only keep telling the same joke. When the premise itself is the joke, it's hard to keep going.
Yeah, I hated I hated both the Zoolander sequel and the not Anchorman, Dumb and Dumber sequel.
I don't think I saw the sequel. No, I didn't.
Of which one?
Either.
Okay. Well, it's probably better off that way. Playing us in once again, El Conjunto Nuevo Hola. Solid enunciation, right?
I'd say so. Flawless.
Thank you. You can hardly tell I'm a cracker from Oklahoma. By the way, you can't call people crackers on Facebook anymore. I actually got a warning from Facebook when I put that in a comment that I sent to my brother as a joke.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, sorry, as I alluded to in the first episode we recorded today, we're recording back to back. It is Labor Day.
We don't take days off, though, for our fans. We work hard.
We don't take weeks off, rather. We take days off. We take hella days off.
But we haven't missed a recording day yet. Or we haven't missed a, is it debut day? What do you call it?
We don't miss Thursdays unless it's between seasons. Then we take sabbaticals. And usually even then they're like a month long. That's it.
And we announce, like,
yeah,
that's like our off season.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to take time off. We gotta, build up the suspense and let you guys appreciate us more. It's like the Brock Lesnar principle.
We're not like other shows you might catch on the Social Suplex Network. There's no days off. We outwork everyone.
We do outwork everyone. We do the work. Damn it. Oh my God. Oh, good stuff. And that's why we cover a show that's old, so that way we don't have to record every week. But
hey, man, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And outwork everyone while you're at it.
Yep.
Word to 7-time, and yes, I did say 7-time world champion Christian Cage. First match of the night, though, Arhennis versus Killshot.
Yeah, this is more of the rebranding of Killshot. They are going to be building him up stronger now. He's no longer going to be the guy that's building up other people. And Arhennis is a fine guy to do it with because, he's not a jobber per se, but he's kind of like the Shawn Spears.
Who's that?
Yep.
Is that Cassie Lee's husband?
Mr. Cassie Lee.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, did you know, by the way, I believe it was Arhennis was one of the 3 disciples of death, but I can't remember which one.
Oh, that I didn't know. So one of them is the Ricky. What was Ricky's name?
Cortez.
Was it Ricky Cortez?
No, Cortez Castro or Ricky Mandel, maybe.
Ricky Mandel. So it's Ricky Mandel.
Yeah.
And it's Arhennis and who else?
I can't remember the third right now. I'm sorry, dude.
Is it Cisco? No.
No, but no, if it was Cisco.
Yeah, you'd know. Well, at least we know 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a good match to build Killshot up because Arhennis is. I don't think he has any real wins.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Sorry, no, I don't believe so. I'd have to look in the archives, but I don't think he's actually won a match here in the Temple.
Yeah, nor should he.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He's no Bengala.
So the Black Lotus, after this, pardon me, I heard your Bengala put over.
Yes.
After this, the Black Lotus was talking to El Dragon Azteca Jr., and she outright lied to him.
Is that what was happening here? Because I was confused because she killed Dragon Azteca Sr., so she is lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You just lied about the death of El Dragon Azteca Sr.
So she's a stupid liar.
Yes, absolutely.
Was she trained by Vampiro by any chance?
Probably. Actually, no, she was trained by El Dragon Azteca.
Oh.
Jeez, that story is so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I try not to harp on it, but every time she shows up, I'm just reminded of how stupid that angle is.
We mean was. It still is.
I said is.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
It's
god.
pretty dumb. Like
Yeah.
I wrote down the question. I was like, she's pretending to believe Dario, or is she now changing her mind? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so dumb. You're right. It's hard to take seriously. But the next segment is the one I was talking about the previous episode of the subtle threats. Because Daga is in the office with Dario.
By the way, debuting Daga, this is the first time we've seen him in the temple.
He's a brand new guy. Dario's even talking about how he's glad he signed him. But they keep sending very subtle threats and jabs to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first it seems like Daga's kind of being dumb. But then they start just making like the most subtlest of threats. Like Dario says, like, "Oh, I brought you over here just to see if you really are such a big deal that you say you are." And then I unfortunately I didn't write down some of the things that Daga said, but they both said some pretty, like, on the surface seems very innocuous, but if you look at the deeper meaning, they were both probing each other for weakness the whole time.
Yeah. No, you got a lot more out of that segment than I did. I will be completely honest with you. What I got out of it was that Daga held like no reverence whatsoever for the Aztec medallions. No,
he was being very coy. Dario was, like I said, I probably should have wrote down some of the quotes, but it was very. If you're just kind of like watching it and not really paying attention, it could seem very innocuous. And I know I could also be reading into it so much more than I probably should be for a wrestling show that died like 6 years ago. But it did have some kind of like gangster movie kind of vibes where, there's a wire, so you can't really threaten someone's life. So you're saying like, oh, it'd be a shame if this happened to you. Oh, I really hope everything goes well for you tonight, because it'd be a shame if it didn't. Like those kind of tones to these seemingly innocuous statements that keep zinging back and forth to each other.
Yeah. Man, what is Daga doing these days besides Tessa Blanchard?
Isn't he in AAA?
Maybe.
He's in AAA or MLW. He's doing all right.
I'm going to look him up on Wikipedia right now.
He should be doing more, because when he first shows up in Lucha Underground, I'm not too impressed.
Yeah.
In this season, but he starts growing. The moment his hair grows a little bit longer, he's like Samson. He just gets way better. Yeah. Later on, like he impresses. He's almost like a like Pac in a way. He could be another Pac.
So it looks like here, Daga was wrestling in AAA as recently as April of 2021, but he vacated a title that he won on April 24th, 2021, and has not been seen in AAA since then.
Huh.
So who knows what he's doing these days, man.
Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah. Hopefully the dogs are not in the enclosed pool area, because after this, we got our first of 7 Aztec Medallion matches when Tejano faced Daga. And Daga slapped Tejano early, which that's pretty stupid.
I wrote that down, dude. I said Daga fucking slaps Tejano, because he did. He just walks up and just slaps him in the face.
Mm-hmm. And what's even better is, this being produced in post or edited in post, they can add sound effects to make the slap sound louder.
I like to imagine he just slapped him that hard.
Yeah, that it naturally made a sound that loud.
Yes.
Daga was very quick early on, and Tejano was able to keep up, which was surprising because Tejano is a bigger guy.
Well, Daga wrestled in a way that was believable that a smaller guy could exchange spots and attacks with a bigger guy, which is not always either well done or even believable. Like, we've all had matches where, like, no way this guy can do this, no way this guy's going to beat this guy. And, Floyd even mentions, like, because of size, like, and it does matter. A 6'4" guy, that's the reason why they have weight classes in UFC. It's not the only thing that matters, but it does factor into things.
Yeah.
But Daga does a really good job, and I would even dare say that this is Tejano's best match.
Yeah. And the thing about Tejano here is he showed grit because he had to survive and escape an ankle lock here. And he managed to do that. And he actually won the match with a big power bomb.
Tejano, yep.
Yes.
Tejano did get him with and that's the best part is like he lost to a power bomb, but he's a much smaller guy being power bombed from a higher elevation because Tejano is like 6'4" probably.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you don't look weak taking a power bomb from a guy if you're like Daniel Bryan height or Pac height and you take a power bomb from like a Cage or from a Tejano, you don't look weak if you don't kick out.
Man, I just realized as you said his name that Cage versus Bryan Danielson is a possibility now.
It is. That's the best thing about AEW right now, and it's also the worst thing. And we won't get into it because it's not an AEW show, but you do have to worry about people getting overlooked now. But
yeah.
There's so many combinations, and they're gonna have to do some of their matches Forbidden Door style, like in TNA, in New Japan. They're not going to be able to fit it all in on all their shows.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the re-sculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
At Kings Island, it's never too early to start thinking about next year's fun. That's why we're offering the lowest price of the year on a 2022 Gold Pass right now. That includes unlimited visits this year, so you can enjoy Tricks and Treats Fall Fest, Haunt, and Winterfest. Then unlimited visits next year to try new foods, hang with the Peanuts gang at Planet Snoopy, scream on our world-class coasters, and splash away at Soak City Water Park. All for as low as $105 plus applicable taxes and fees. Hurry, offer ends soon, so get your Gold Pass now at visitkingsisland.com. It's amazing in here.
And I'm not watching Dark anymore.
No. No. I have a rule of thumb. If it's not on Turner, I am not watching it.
I'm barely watching Rampage, bro. And I don't have a lot going on, but Friday nights,
yeah,
watching wrestling at 10, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Definitely a bit much. Move it to Thursdays. Come on.
Do something.
Yeah. Oh, man. After that, we see Mil Muertes mourning something in the back.
You want to know what I wrote down?
What'd you write down?
I encapsulated this whole segment by saying Katrina catches Mil jerking off in his creepy man cave.
Oh, my God. That would be hilarious, dude.
Because he's on his knees by all these candles when she comes in.
Yeah, bro. He's not doing that. He's not, pleasing himself. He's clearly mourning something, but I do appreciate your sense of humor.
What was it? Hold on. He could be doing a white? What was it? A white rocket? A white trolley?
Oh my God! What did it? A tactical whitey?
He was doing a tactical whitey.
Guys, we're gonna break the fourth wall here. Our good friend Muzza was at the pub last night in Glasgow watching All Out. And he said, just did a tactical whitey in the bathroom. I think I should cut myself off. And I asked, being an American and not knowing what that meant, I said, did you just tell us you jerked off? And apparently tactical whitey apparently means throwing up. But yeah, I don't know.
I legit thought it. I thought the same thing you did. I was like, why are you telling us this?
We love you, Muzza.
Oh, we do. We say it in love, but it's the best thing he's ever said.
He doesn't listen to the show, so F him.
There you go.
Oh, my God. That is... Wow. We've had our fun for the episode. Next up, our main event of Rey, and Rick versus JTC. I call them Rey, and Rick because Boris, Mysterio, and Ricochet. And it's easier. It's easier than writing down Puma, Mysterio, and Azteca. I said Ray Horus, sir.
Is that Rey Mysterio?
What?
Who's Ray Horus?
Ray Horus is El Dragon Azteca Junior.
That's his name?
Yeah, he's in Ring of Honor.
He is? I don't watch Ring of Honor, dude.
Nobody watches Ring of Honor, but they can still Google them.
I use Ask Jeeves for everything. That's how I found out what a tactical whitey was.
Yeah, I'm a Bing guy myself. Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm just so distracted by it.
Dude, he said tactical whitey. What?
That's what I'm gonna say every time we catch Mill on his knees in his man cave. That's why they go to war, is because Dario's is tired of him jerking off in the boiler room all the time.
He's putting slugs in the toilet, messing up the plumbing.
That's why Drago's all pissed off. He can't swim through the pipes as easily. They should have had one episode where Drago comes out covered in toilet paper.
Oh. What do you think of this trios match, dude?
Rey, Puma. Oh, actually, it's funny. We're so off track, but this was a great fucking match.
It was, dude. It was. And another beat to the story here. Prince Puma pinned Johnny Mundo again.
Yep. I mean, but they did a good thing where the Technicos won pretty strongly. Like they basically didn't really dominate, but they kind of had the cleanest of strongest wins. But at the same time, the heels were always kind of in a disadvantage. They were always fighting all three of the Technicos.
Yeah.
Maybe two of them teamed up at a time. Maybe Mundo and Taya teamed up at a time. Mm-hmm. But Cage was always doing it on his own, right?
Yeah. So
they were kind of just not they weren't all on the same page, and that's what cost them. That's what allowed the heel. That's what allowed the Technicos to win. And this made the Technicos look strong in their. They weren't just a bunch of three guys just doing all their moves. They were coordinated. They had teamwork. They worked fluidly well with each other. So it made the bad guys look strong because they were always the underdogs practically the whole match, and they still almost won. Yeah, Cage had some incredible spots, right? Yeah, and we had some of my favorite quotes in there. When Taya's stomping one of them, they called it Berserker boots. I put that down in quotes because I liked it. Then there was a Gem in the Holograms reference.
My love for you was like a truck berserker. Sorry.
Is that Strong Bad?
Clerks, dude.
Oh. Well, I'm 0 for 1.
Oh, man. Oh, well.
Oh, there was one point where Cage slapped her ass to get in. Ha! I had to rewind a few times because they kept missing it, but he slapped her ass. You couldn't really see it. She goes, ah!
It's okay. It's okay. Cage was in their wedding. It's all good.
He should have destroyed the wedding. Like, he should have F5'd them to the cake.
Yeah. Maybe that'd be wild if something like that happened.
There was another storyline though with Rey and Mundo because they both came from WWE.
Yeah.
That you could kind of feel in the crowd, and Mundo played up to it by tripping Rey at one point. Like it's hard to explain, but there was like this connection between the two of them where it felt like the fans just kind of were like, "Oh, we want this match."
Yeah. Well, from everything I remembered and everything I was told when, because Rey and Johnny had a Intercontinental title match in 2009. It was just before Rey was going to serve a suspension. So, pardon me. So obviously Mundo was going to win, and everything I have been told is that the match was very good. I need to go back and see it, but so it doesn't surprise me, that they had really good chemistry.
I mean, Rey, who does he have? And I'm not even the hugest Rey Mysterio fan. Not that I don't like him. I just wasn't really watching WWE when he got big, and I didn't really watch WCW. So my exposure to Rey Mysterio is I see more of him in Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
it's just I didn't know much of him, but he's like one of those wrestlers that can wrestle a broom.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's like Him, Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair, and that's really about it.
And who's the guy from the Hollywood Varsity Blondes? His dad, Brian
Pillman. Yes.
Yep. Like they're people that can wrestle just anybody and anything, and raise that. And I'd even say that Mundo on this best day can do it.
Yeah, Mundo, he carries himself well, that's for sure. But I mean, looking back here, I mentioned Prince Puma got the win when he pinned Johnny Mundo once again. And that makes it, okay, so Mundo beat Puma in the first episode of Lucha Underground. But then Puma pinned Mundo in Aztec Warfare. Puma beat,
all night long.
Yes, Puma won all night long against Mundo. Aztec Warfare 2, Puma pinned Mundo again. That's 3 pins right there, 3 decisions right there. And just now. So it's like 4 victories to 1.
Yeah, they're keeping Puma. It's weird because like we've complained about keeping Puma strong and how he doesn't always look strong in victory.
Oh, dude, he's legitimately one of the worst booked champions I've seen.
He is because he's getting clean, strong wins here.
Yeah, now that he's not champion, he's looking strong.
And it's like belts are his kryptonite.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man, yeah, no, you are not wrong whatsoever. But hey, Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, El Dragon Azteca Jr. move on in the trios tournament. And with that, let's see here. Someone moved on last week as well.
Last week it was
yes, it was the Crew and Joey Ryan,
which is surprising. Wasn't there?
There's only been 2 so far.
You're right. Yep.
But hey, after that, because that was our main event. After that, we got to Dario in the bowels of the temple, talking to his brother between the bars. And the one quote I wrote down is, "No one understands the beauty of your destruction like I do."
I forgot this scene. Yeah.
It was basically the way I perceived it. Basically, to kind of build on, hey, we're going to get a monster. We're going to get a graveyard smash next week. A monster mash when we get Matanza versus Mil Muertes.
They should have called it that. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, in all of our talk about Mil Muertes jerking off by the candles, I forgot to mention that they did book a title match for next week as well.
They did?
Yeah, they did. That's the main event of next week's episode.
Oh, I just watched that too. I didn't know it was a title match.
Hey, didn't you?
It's been a hard week, brah. Where's my pen?
You almost died in a hurricane, dude.
That's true.
Yeah, you're a survivor.
Gotta write down Monster Mash.
Yeah, like the song?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm writing it down.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
I get that reference.
What would you what would you grade this episode of Lucha Underground?
Well, I originally wrote down an A.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's mainly and we didn't talk about it as much because we were distracted by Mil's extracurricular activities.
Yeah, all those the whiteys.
I'm going to give it an A, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to leave my A there because they're successfully rebranding Killshot, which is needed, and he wins strong. Daga gives Tejano his best match ever.
Yeah.
Right. And the 3-way between Puma, Rey, and Dragon Azteca versus Taya, Cage, and Mundo. We didn't talk about a lot of the spots, and I actually don't want to bring them up because I want people to watch it for themselves. Mm-hmm. But there's some wild shit that Cage does. And
yeah, dude, absolutely.
And Dragon Azteca Jr. delivers. He's really good and usually when someone, I have this not complaint, but I've noticed that people like the debut in on another show might be a little rusty. They might not be as impressive as they're hyped up to be. There was no problems with his style at all. He delivers.
Yeah.
His character's boring.
Yeah.
And his storyline he comes from is stupid, but
Yeah.
He can wrestle.
Hey, that wasn't a shot at CM Punk, was it?
I was trying not to make it sound like I was taking a shot at Ruby or Leo Rush.
Okay.
When he debuted, but Leo Rush was kind of like struggling because he was moving so fast.
Leo Rush was in AEW for a touch, wasn't he?
He was in that Battle Royal with the men.
Oh yeah, and then he retired, and then he took more bookings. Yeah.
Yes, and he when I was watching it, he was just moving so fast, and that's all he was doing, and he could barely keep up with himself. And I was like, well, you know, Ruby was fine actually. That's why I was trying not to make it. That's why I was trying to be not specific.
Yeah.
Because I knew people would be like, oh, he's talking about Ruby. It's like, no, I don't have a problem with Ruby. She was fine. Yeah. But we've seen other people debut where it's like, it's not, you know, they're trying too much in their first match back, and they get winded. Or like when The Rock, when he fought, I think it was John Cena, like he was winded halfway through.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. I'm going to give this show a B. It was fine. It was better than last week's episode, which low bar, but it was better.
No doubt. Oh yeah, it's last, and there wasn't anything wrong with last week's. It's just this one had this had signature Lucha Underground matches.
Absolutely. Seriously, go back and watch that trios main event. Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, El Dragon Azteca Jr., Johnny Mundo, Taya, Cage. Go back and watch it. Season 2, episode 12. Guys, that's going to be the show. And don't do any tactical whiteys in the pub, or there will be grave consequences.
Freakonomics Radio is sponsored by Adidas. Check out the latest footwear innovation from Adidas, the Adizero Adios Pro 2, which features carbon fiber energy rods that are both lightweight and precisely tuned for a more anatomical transition. Everything from the ultra-light polyester upper to the resculpted midsole and the reinvented outsoles are designed for speed. Visit adidas.com to learn more today.
We did it again. Verizon was just named America's most reliable network by Root Metrics for the 16th time in a row, proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon builds networks. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network, Verizon. Best and most reliable based on Root Metrics reports from second half 2013 to first half 2021 of 3 operators on all network types combined, not specific to 5G networks.